Recipe for gluhwein. Gluhwein, or mulled wine, as we call it in English, is a traditional Germanic holiday, that is to say Christmas-tide drink. And it's basically red wine and some orange juice and some spices mulled together, hence the name. Some people use allspice along with cloves. Today I'm only going to be using cloves. So what I've done here is I've taken 3/4 of a cup of water, 3/4 of a cup of sugar, although I have substituted stevia with a tablespoon of honey. Stevia because it's better for you. It's just a natural extract. Doesn't have the health problems that sugar often has with it. And it's good for people who have pre-diabetes or who are indeed diabetic. And then honey, to just, sometimes it has kind of a, well, its taste is different than what we expect from sugar. So to kind of take away that, I don't want to call it edge, but that difference that we're expecting, I put in a tablespoon of honey. So what we've done so far is to boil it, boil the water, the sugar, stevia, honey, and one, I don't know if you can see it down there, you go, 1 stick of cinnamon. And right now it's set to boil it and then reduce it to a simmer, or that's what we're supposed to do. However, the temperature to which I turned it down to evidently isn't enough to get it to simmer. So I'm trying to figure out what the deal is with this oven. You can see I had it on high, put it down to low, I put it up to medium, I put it up to medium high, all to no effect. So we're going to turn it up to just a little over that medium high mark, and we'll see what happens here after that. Okay, so you can see, hopefully, let's see if we can get a little extra light on the subject. There we go. You can see that it's simmering now, nice and simmering. Maybe even a little bit too much, so I turned down the heat ever so slightly. But now what we'll do is take this orange, this beautiful, beautiful orange that I got last night and from the grocery market, and cut it in half, which we've already done. Then we're going to squeeze the juice from each half of the orange, put it into this liquid here, and we'll take 10 cloves, put 5 on each half, and stick that into this mixture. I wish this thing had smell-o-vision, because it is a heavenly smell. So as you can see, I have taken the orange, I have squeezed it out, the orange juice is simmering now with it, and we're going to do this until it's more of a thicker consistency. Now with the, here's the thing, kids, this is a great thing, at least this is a great part of the recipe to involve your kids with, because I remember when I was a little kid and I had to do a school project based on oranges. We were studying the Middle Ages, and what we had to do, we were told that people's hygiene back then was not the best, and so to not only mask the smell of your own bad breath, but to hide the stench from other people's bodies, as well as to kind of diffuse the smell of someone else's bad breath, people carried around oranges into which they had stuck cloves. And so as a class project, my 5th grade teacher, Mrs. Gibson, was at Greenville Elementary School in San Ramon, California. I can't remember. Danville, California. But in any event, Mrs. Gibson had us take oranges and have our parents get cloves for us, and so we studied these things with cloves, and they smelled amazing. And I just remembered how much fun it was to take these cloves and put them into the orange. So this is kind of, kind of a fun thing for your kids to do. I put them in a pentagon shape. See, you can see kind of a pentagon, Chrysler star shape, however you want to put it. Not for any particular reason other than I'm trying to get the greatest distribution possible. Since there's not a lot of cloves in there. And then, boy, that tasted delicious just now. I licked my fingers. Ooh. So yeah, that's what you do there. Or you can do it in any. You could put it in a straight line. You could put it in a circle. You could put it in a diamond. It really doesn't matter. It's however you would like to do it. You only have 5 on each half, though. Although I suppose you could put all 10 on one half. It's up to you. Okay, look how nice and syrupy that looks. See how much thicker it is? Yeah, very nice. Very, very nice. Okay, so what we're going to do is take the bottle of wine. Now this says Bogle on it, and as you might be able to tell from the wine stains being poured or having dripped down the side there, it is not Bogle. It is actually Carlo Rossi Burgundy. It comes in the 3-liter bottle. I don't choose it for any particular reason other than it is a 3-liter bottle, and thus per ounce is cheaper than what you might get with, more cost effective, what you might get with, say, Livingston, which is only 2.5 liter, or something else. I think I got this at the Pennsylvania State Wine and Spirits store for $16 versus $15 for the smaller bottle of Livingston. So what we're supposed to do now is, come on, it'll probably help. He doesn't want to get on. It doesn't want to leave. It's so delicious it wants to stay in there. I understand. Get in my belly. Get on my spoon. Okay, so we're going to take that and put it in the nice little bowl there. Take this, dump it out. Maybe if we turn it over, that would help. Isn't that a kind of a nice color, guys and gals? That is just beautiful. And look how it's kind of bruised in the center there, huh? I wonder, sometimes what I do, instead of putting the whole orange in, some years I've just simply taken the zest and peeled, taken a potato peeler and taken off the zest and used that. Anyway, the recipe, the reason I put it into this bottle, I meant to continue, was because it is, the recipe calls for 750 milliliters of, say that 10 times fast, of wine. Now, it doesn't have to be a Burgundy. I have used a Burgundy here. It doesn't have to be. It can simply be nice red table wine. $2 chuck, the least expensive you're going to get, because really, unlike when you're, say, drinking a glass of wine with your meal, or just having a nice glass of wine in the late afternoon on a hot summer day, the purpose here is not so much taste. That certainly helps, but I can't think that if you were going to put in a really good, sort of expensive wine to use with your gluhwein, your mulled wine, then I don't know that it would have much impact. It wouldn't make it taste that much better, because the simple syrup that we've created with the water, sugar / stevia and honey, cinnamon stick, and orange juice is going to overwhelm all but the basic wine taste that you will otherwise get. I mean, you'll have the body of wine in there, but you're not going to have, let me put it this way. You put in a bottle of $2 chuck or you put in a bottle of $250 bottle of name whatever varietal you would like, you will not taste the difference, or you will taste such little difference. And the purpose here is not the taste of the wine. The purpose here is just to enjoy this kind of rich array of flavors, of the citrus, of the spices with the cinnamon and the cloves, with the sweetness from the syrup mixture and the wine together. It all combines to just have this wonderful elixir of life, this wonderful ambrosia that really makes Christmas Eve and Christmas Day and, you know, the rest of the 12 days of Christmas. I usually double the recipe because I want to be able to enjoy this throughout the 12 days of Christmas. It begins on December 25th, ends on January 6th, the Feast of the Epiphany, and it is something that really makes for an enjoyable, much more, it adds to the experience. I'm not going to say it makes it much more enjoyable, but it certainly adds to the experience. What I really love to do is take this, pour myself a mug, and sit down in front of the Christmas tree late at night, quiet throughout the house, watch the lights, look at the ornaments, and just kind of slough into or sink into a meditative reflection and contemplation of the year, what has gone right, what I wish had gone better, hopes for the new year, prayers, lift up a few prayers here and there, asking for God's assistance in this, that, or the other thing, and thank Him for the many great gifts that I have, that despite all the troubles and travails and woes that life can bring us, boy, aren't all of us just so blessed in so many different ways if we sit and think about it? And so, you know, it's proper to give thanks to Him who is the author of those blessings. And even those blessings which are disguised as sufferings, because I think if we're honest with ourselves, the times that we suffer make us stronger. I certainly know that that has been my case, or the case in my life, rather. So, the purpose here is to get it, I don't know if you can see the steam coming off the liquid, but the purpose here is just to, and it feels, by the way, I mean, as I've been talking and kind of stirring this gently back and forth, partly I've been doing it just because, more through the camera than in actuality, the reflection off the pool of liquid here is lovely to behold, as I hope you're agreeing. But it's also, I find it very meditative. I'm feeling much calmer right now. In any event, you don't want to get it to the point where it is simmering. So I think that now, with the steam coming up, we have ended the recipe, and thus this video, which I hope you have enjoyed as much watching as I have had a good time making it. Merry Christmas to one and all. May God bless you.